Hello, this is my author and poet study over Shel Silverstein. When I originally set out to do this project on Shel Silverstein, I wanted to do it because he was my favorite to read when I was a kid. But thanks to this project, getting into who he was as a person, turns out he was quite an interesting, talented, and quirky individual. Um, he was born Sheldon Allen Silverstein on September 25th, 1930, in Chicago, Illinois. Though he's both known for his children's books and poetry, his talents far extended that. I thought it was funny because he always dreamed of playing for the Chicago White Sox, but soon realized that he had zero talent for sports. So that's when he began drawing. And at the age of 7, he started tracing the works of Al Capp. Upon graduation from high school, he attended the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts, and he was drafted into the Army in 1953. During his time there in the military, he was assigned to a newspaper to do layout and paste up, and he ended up drawing cartoons that would often poke fun at his superiors, which landed him in trouble quite often. Um, Soon his cartoons were published in that newspaper. It was called the Pacific Stars and Stripes. And then in 1955, they turned that into it was his first published book, and it was renamed Big Pen. Um, Upon returning to Chicago after the Army, he was working at various hot dog stands or various ballparks selling hot dogs when he was submitting his cartoons to different magazines, and soon was published in Look, Sports Illustrated, and This Week. Um, Shell never specifically set out to write books for kids, but a friend of his by the name of Tommy Ungerer literally dragged him into the office of Ursula Nordstrom, where she saw his work and instantly thought that he had a talent for writing kids' books. So his first book with them was published, and he didn't stop at just children's books. He also wrote songs for people like Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and many, many others. He was also His songs appeared in movies like Thelma and Louise, and he didn't even stop at songwriting. He was also known for his playwright abilities. In 1959, he collaborated with Gene Shepard and Herb Gardner on a program called Look Charlie, a short history of the pratfall. From there, he went on to write another over 100 one-act plays. He was also known to work closely with David Mamet on many TV projects as well. Around the world, his name is known. He didn't want to be seen as a strict authority figure, as like a parent or a teacher. He wanted to be known as a fun loving uncle, so a lot of his books were written under the name of Uncle Shelby. Um, his favorite was Lafcadio, he mentioned thing. Otto Penzler spoke of his versatility, saying, quote, not only has he produced with seeming ease country music hits and popular songs, but he's been equally successful at turning his hand to poetry, short stories, plays, and children's books. Moreover, his whimsically hip fables, beloved by readers of all ages, have made him a stalwart of bestseller lists. His unmistakable illustrative style is another crucial element to his appeal. Just as no other writer sounds like Shell, no other artist's vision is as delightfully, sophisticatingly cockeyed. I think that was a perfect representation of who Shel Silverstein was. Unfortunately, he died of a heart attack on May 10th, 1999, at the age of 68. His writings were often compared to those of Dr. Seuss because of their whimsical rhymes, illustrations, and magical made up places. Among many accomplishments, he was also credited for helping young readers develop an appreciation for poetry, and his serious verse reveals an understanding of common childhood anxieties and wishes. He had a very light-hearted view of life, if not somewhat sarcastic, but his works have brought joy and laughter to all ages. And I wanted to end this with a quote that I felt was pretty powerful. Shell said, I want to go everywhere, look at and listen to everything. You can go crazy with some of the wonderful stuff there is in life. Some of his other works include A Giraffe and a Half, Once a Cheap Rhinoceros, Where the Sidewalk Ends, The Missing Piece, A Light in the Attic, Runny Rabbit, and Runny Rabbit Returns. Both were published posthumously. I couldn't decide originally which book to read because they are all so much fun to read, but I landed on The Giving Tree because the discussions that can arise from it in the classroom, and there's some good lessons that can be taught from this book. So, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches. And eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches, and eat apples and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy. And she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. You may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree. but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples, said the boy. My branches are gone, said the tree. You cannot swing on them. I am too old to swing on branches, said the boy. My trunk is gone, said the tree. You cannot climb. I am too tired to climb, said the boy. I am sorry, sighed the tree. I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry. I don't need very much now, said the boy. Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest. And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. So my activity for this book would be based off of the creative writing process. I would begin it towards the beginning of the year. I would have a tree on my billboard outside the classroom with no leaves on it. And I will start by reading the Giving Tree and then have a class discussion over what this book actually means. And then our activity will be, like I said, to use the creative writing process based around the theme of being generous towards others. I will get every student an idea web to brainstorm on, and I want them to each think of two people in their lives who are giving to them, such as a parent, a teacher, a friend. And then I want them to think of 3 ways that they can give back to those people, and they will um, write their first draft, and then we will conference, and then they will edit and revise, and we'll conference again, and then they'll turn in their final draft. And then I would also hand out a blank leaf template, and it would have a story starter saying, I can be more giving by, and then they can finish that in any way that they want to, such as helping a friend, helping the school, helping the community, anything that they can think of. And then once they color in their leaf, however they choose, and cut it out, um, we will take them out to the tree on the billboard and put them up. So it's a constant reminder for students and adults to think of others. Thank you.